you don't need to fire, you don't know shit about boxing.
Then that showed that you're a neophyte in boxing. You know nothing about boxing.
I wish I was 50 years younger and I'd kick your ass.
But you still got 4 losses, son. Easy breezy, baby. You better not duck me, son. You better not duck me, son.
We are the heavyweight. We don't pull any punches. Round 1, fight!
ToughTalk Tuesday, as always, I'm your host, Lucas Biggers. Alongside me will be Rudy Gutierrez and Robert Alexander. How's it going, guys?
Hey, what's up, y'all?
Rudy, I'm gonna come to you right off the bat, man. What happened to your boy Chavez Jr.?
Yeah, what happened to your boy, Rudy?
You know, I'm gonna take it personal if you guys say he's my boy now. Dude, I mean, like I told you guys, that I don't think there's just any hope for this guy.
I'm starting to wonder myself. I mean, he has so much potential, but he basically just doesn't give a shit. I mean, is that what you see as well, Rob?
You heard me call him out on the air last week, and you know that's part of it. But a lot of it right now has me questioning whether he really was into the sport of boxing or not. You know, there's some guys out there, even some guys that are boxers, that will tell you, I don't push my son to be a boxer. I want them to choose their own lane. I want them to choose their own sport or whatever they choose in life. And it's kind of as if it wasn't even, you know, it was just kind of as if it was just already written for Chavez to be a boxer because of his dad. There was no other choice. The kid acts like he's a damn rock star or rap star or something like that, the way that he comes in overweight, which I can't believe. I mean, he started his career at what, fellas? He started his career at like 5 weight classes, you know, 5 weight classes below what he's at right now. So I think he definitely doesn't give a shit.
I mean, Rudy, back me up on this, but I mean, he had to at least weigh somewhere close to 190 fight night. As you can see on the screen here, they don't even have a weight for the night that they actually fought.
It's a question mark.
Right, it's question marks. They don't know. He looks 190 to me, but Rudy, what was your take on it?
That was 200 pounds, man.
Probably about 200.
Massive.
Really, Rudy?
He looked way too big. He looked way too. I mean, I think 200 is an exaggeration, but I'm pretty sure he was, if not close, he was at 190. I think we could set that on. He just looked huge compared to Reyes.
It was pretty bad. Pretty horrible, but overall, Rob, what did you think of the overall performance and as well as Reyes?
Just what Rudy said. He looked way bigger than Reyes. Therefore, and that's how he won the fight. Just on him being bigger. Look, I don't mind you putting on that weight if you're going to fight at that weight class when you have the power. And Chavez does. He obviously has the power because that was the biggest aspect for him in the fight was his power. And you know, the slow punches, the slow output that he put out, to us, it looks bad because really this is a fight at 168, a weight class where he should be dominating and throwing more punches and more accurate punching. But as big as he is and as big as he comes into fight night, it's really all about that power. So I don't have a problem with it. Go ahead.
No, that was my fault. Go ahead.
I don't have a problem with it as long as you're fighting at that weight class because you have the power to transcend. And I think he does. But, you know, when he fought Fonfara, you seen what happened. He can't do it. So he's really at a crossroads right now in his career because of the fact that he's too heavy for even a 168-pounder. He's not disciplined enough to fight these guys. He's not quick enough to fight him because he's got all that extra weight and he's not conditioned for it. You know, it's really a problem right now because he has the power, but that's it. That's all he has is the power. He doesn't have the skill, and it's unfortunate because he should.
Okay, now you said he has the power. I'm down even that. Rudy, I'm coming to you now. As he said he has the power, I don't think he even has that. He couldn't even knock Marco Reyes down, who is right now a career 160-pound fighter. You agree?
I didn't see in the past. I mean, it was pretty obvious that he had.
Rudy, you're hard to kind of understand right now. Something.
Can you hear me?
I think you're conflicted right now, Rudy. It's okay. I'll forgive you. I think you are conflicted.
I'm baffled.
Yeah, I mean, you are. You are a little bit flabbergasted right now.
In the past, I mean, it was quite evident that the kid had power, but I mean, as he's getting heavier and actually fighting people that are, you know, possibly going to be his size. I mean, it's from this previous performance. I mean, it's pretty clear that his power didn't transcend. I mean, yeah, you have to add into the equation that maybe Marco Reyes does have a chin and was well conditioned for this fight, and that's why, and that is why he didn't get hurt or he didn't get the knockout. But I mean, I never saw Reyes in any type of trouble. Yeah, he might have stumbled here and there when he caught one of Chavez right hooks, but I mean, it wasn't anything devastating. It wasn't anything that you know, we could have said like, damn, Chavez, you know, is going to be a threat. On the contrary, I mean, the kid was just a total fucking square, so flat-footed. I mean, he was just walking in the ring. There was obviously no improvement seen in it. I mean, honestly, I think this is probably like his worst performance. Even though he dominated the fight, like, I think this was his worst performance. I mean, it was garbage, man. It was garbage.
It really was. I want to come to either one of you, I guess, but was it just me, or did Roberto Garcia look just severely disappointed? Usually after a win, he's always like all smiles and playful, and he was straight-faced. Like, that dude's just disappointed in Chavez.
I think.
Go ahead, Rick.
No, I was just gonna say, I think Garcia was like, "What the fuck did I get myself in?" Like, it was. I mean, I don't know if you guys heard, but during the moments when in the corner, I mean, obviously, you know, Showtime has horrible ass translators, but Garcia was talking to him in Spanish, and he was like talking shit to him. He was in Spanish, like saying, "You're not doing any of the shit that we train. You need to come here and prove a point. You're not doing it." I mean, Garcia was talking shit to him in Spanish, you know. But obviously, the translators, you know, they sugarcoat that shit and or don't even say what the guy was actually saying. But I was kind of surprised. Well, I guess not surprised because that's the way Garcia is. But I mean, at the end, when Garcia was in the post conference and all of that, I mean, he did seem like he was more confused probably than Chavez himself. He was like, I don't know.
Well, listen, I'm gonna make this statement though to back Robert Garcia up though, because we don't know. In this fight, especially in particular, we don't know what went on in training camp. whereas some of his other trainers, you know, specified early on, even from the way training camp went with Chavez, that they were already disappointed in the type of fighter they were training. So we don't know what happened, and that's the key focus here, is that we don't know what happened in training camp to say, you know, maybe he was completely baffled, and it sounds like that's the case because of what they did train for. And from all the reports, and y'all can specify otherwise, but all the reports I've heard, Chavez had a great training camp. He had a good training camp. The problem is, and it's like Robert Garcia said to the commentators at the end of the fight when they interviewed and asked him how he felt about his fighter's performance. There's a lot of work to be done, you know, and at this level of Chavez's career, that statement should not be said. There's a lot of work that needs to be done. Why? Why? You have a complete fighter who should be elite right now, you know, and there's still a lot of work to be done. Who's on his 4th trainer, by the way, in 5 fights. Everybody else couldn't even handle him in training camp. So that right there is the problem. It's not any trainer that's training him. It's not any opponent that he's facing. It's Chavez Jr. himself.
I mean, you said you believe that he did have a good camp, but I'm still not so certain. No fighter ever comes out like, man, camp was shit. I trained like crap. You know, you'll never hear that.
Freddie Roach said it completely about him against Sergio Martinez. Freddie Roach was adamant about that in that training camp, that Chavez was garbage going into that camp.
That was towards the end of their career and their relationship together, though. They're not. Roberto Garcia just signed on with him, so he's not going to go badmouth him right away. You know what I mean? So
yeah, but his last trainer lasted, what, 1 fight?
That's mainly because of his, you know, spoon-fed ass ways. I mean, he thinks he can run everything, and apparently, shit, he can. He keeps trading trainers like it's going out of style. But
I mean, it's debatable whether he had a good training camp. I mean, the videos that are on YouTube, I mean, it could just been just because the cameras were there. I mean, the dude seemed like he was working. You know, he seemed in shape, or at least, you know, on that direction. But I mean, it could possibly also be that, you know, he's adjusting to a whole new, you know, regimen. I mean, maybe the other people that he worked with before, Roach, Goosen, or whatever, maybe they were just there and they were like, well, fuck it. If he's paying me, whatever, you know, let him set the schedule. And from the interviews that I've, you know, seen of Robert Garcia, he's like, even before I agreed to train Chavez, that he gave him the schedule, like when was going to be the training and all of that. And if he was going to, you know, agree to it, then they'll sign the dotted line. If not, then, you know, move on. I mean, a lot of people are saying, oh, give him time. But like Ross said, I mean, how much more fucking time you want to give this guy? I mean, it's at this point, I mean, a boxer learns on a daily basis, but the way Chavez fought on Saturday looked like a complete fucking amateur. Like if you were to erase his name, I mean, you would have never said, oh shit, yeah, his dad was, you know, one of the greatest in the sport of boxing. Like he had no boxing DNA in him that day.
But that's the problem, Rudy. That's the problem that I have with Chavez Jr. is that statement right there. His dad is one of the greatest boxers, period. Mexican, American, black, white, period. He's one of the greatest fighters, period, of his era. And that's the problem that I have. You can say that about Senior. Junior, he probably should have played basketball.
Look, I mean, the point is, we've seen him do better. You know, we've seen him in shape like he did against Andy Lee. But if that was Andy Lee that he just fought against, you know, this past Saturday, Andy Lee might have got him out of there.
Would have.
And he's gone downhill, and that's not what should be happening. So clearly he's got work to do, and I hope, you know, Roberto Garcia can get him in shape and actually make him listen. But go ahead, Rick.
No, that's what I was gonna say. I mean, in the past, I mean, yeah, he's always had holes in his game and whatnot, and he's always been criticized and scrutinized because of his own, you know, work ethic or whatever. But in the past, I mean, you saw things in him that was like, damn, this kid just gets a little polish here and there, he's going to be a force to be reckoned. But this wasn't the case. I mean, even against the Fanfaro fight, sure, his game plan was I think his game plan totally switched in that fight because he was like, oh, shit, I can't do anything to this guy. You know, but even there against Fanfaro, he was, you know, he was trying to do you could say he kind of adapted to that fight and tried to do whatever he was going to be able to do to try to win the fight. You know what I mean? You saw some boxing techniques, some boxing skills in that fight. Against Reyes, honestly, it was just like a fucking amateur. I mean, with my father-in-law, he was like, damn, this fucker is horrible. You know, like,
and it wasn't even just him. I mean, now he's complaining to the ref. The ref was actually fine with what Chavez saw was a foul. And then all of a sudden, after Chavez complains, he takes a point.
exactly.
In fact, let's go to the video, guys.
Well, that happened in a couple of fights, but...
Now, leaning in here, it's a shot to the body. The actual shot to the body was pushed low, below the belt, but they called the point on a headbutt when he was just leaning in to throw a punch. I saw no violation there. Did you, Rudy?
No, not whatsoever. I mean, there was head contact, but it was completely unintentional. Reyes was coming in. Chavez was coming in as well and coming in a little bit low, and there was no, I don't think there was any bad blood there, no bad intention, but.
No, I mean, if anything, they should have called it on the low blow. Right off the bat, the jab was low. But, I mean, the point doesn't matter because he didn't lose by one damn point. He lost by quite a bit. So, you know, it doesn't matter, but it's still, the principle of the whole thing is like, hey, I can complain and I can get a point taken away because my name's Chavez Jr.
Right.
But, all right. Done beating that dude to hell. Hopefully, you know, he comes back and he does something.
I ain't got nothing else to say about him.
A Froch fight.
In his career.
If Froch comes out of retirement. Or, which, with the way Chavez looked, he might come out of retirement for that payday. Or a Golovkin fight, which is still very possible. Who knows? But moving on here. Rob, I want to get your take and your opinions on Amir Amim's performance this past Saturday.
I mean, it was good. It was good. You know, problem I have with this guy, everybody's trying to crown him. Everybody loves a knockout. Let's face it, it was a hell of a knockout. I give him credit. It was a hell of a knockout. But him calling out Floyd is ridiculous. He hasn't beat any no-names yet. Any big names yet. Hell, he hasn't even got to an elite fighter yet. Yes, he's impressive, but let's not crown him. It's way too early in his career. Let the kid face some adversity. Hell, every fight that he's been in, he hasn't been in a complete fight yet, I don't think. I don't even think he's gone the distance yet. The thing I like about this kid is he has real good boxing pedigree. The knockout did come. He did produce a hell of a knockout at that. But it wasn't something that he goes out there and look for. He's not a knockout artist, and we've seen that in other fights from him before. He doesn't just go look for the knockout. He lets it come to him. And that, my friends, is rare from a fighter of his caliber that's young like that, because they usually want to jump for the knockout. But,
yeah, go ahead.
Again, you got to question the level, caliber of a fighter he was fighting.
And that's fair. I'm not going to knock the kid for calling out Mayweather. I mean, that's like saying bingo, you know, or, hey, you got the winning lottery ticket. It's a chance.
Hey, if Berto can get a chance, shit, I'll call out Floyd. Fuck that. I'll make my...
Let's not go there. We'll be all night on that topic.
That's coming later. That's coming later. We're going to have to hit that. We're going to have to hit that. But, but no, I mean, I don't blame the guy. That's like trying to put your name in a drawing for the lottery. I don't blame him. I mean, he's not a bad fighter. He wants that money, and who can blame him? I would call out Mayweather if I won one fight. So.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Did he not personally call out Floyd, or was it Don King in the background talking about we want Floyd Mayweather?
I can't remember exactly, but I think he said that he knew what the real champion was, and it was Mayweather. And then Don King and everybody else kind of chimed in. So, but regardless, I like that he called Garcia a cherry picker. With his
sorta, he kind of backed himself into that.
Well, regardless, you can't help but say maybe this guy is going to be good for boxing. Right now, he's one of the few people that's single-handedly keeping Don King in the sport. So that's not good in a way, but I don't think Don King is a threat to the sport. It's good for Don, but I don't think he's a threat to the sport anymore like he used to be. I mean, he
wasn't a threat back then. He was just a threat to his fighters.
Yeah, I mean, he has no leverage anymore anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But I mean, I'm thoroughly impressed with Amin. I think he's a great fighter. As far as beating a Lucas Matisse or a Victor Postol, whoever wins that fight, I don't see him winning either one, unless I'm crazy, guys.
That's interesting, Rudy.
It's an interesting fight. I mean, like Rob said, I mean the guy is barely making a name for himself, and I mean, you can't take anything away from him now. I mean, he's coming up strong, and if he keeps doing these type of performances, I mean, he's definitely going to be, an avoided fighter pretty soon. If he gets to fight the winner of Matisse or Postol, I mean, it's going to be a tough fight for him, just on the fact that of his resume and his experience. You know what I mean? When you think of a fight between Idam or either the Batiste Postol, I mean, you gotta consider the mileage that these fighters have in the game of boxing, and when you level all of that, I mean, everything's gonna be against them. You know what I mean? But if he does get that shot, I mean, it's definitely gonna be the best opportunity that he's probably gonna have in his career right now. So, I mean, more power to him if he gets it, and good luck.
Yeah, I mean, his problem right now is the defense, especially, and that's especially, I'm saying, if Matisse walks out with that, he's going to have to vastly improve his defense and head movement to avoid some of those shots, because Matisse starts landing those. And if Fidel Maldonado can put him down, Matisse can put him out cold. So it's just, that's one of the things he's going to have to work on, especially in this big of a jump. If he's going to go from his competition this past Saturday to Matisse or Postol, it's a big jump, very big jump, and I'm worried for him. But regardless,
it and it's the type of jump that'll make him into a quick superstar. You know what I mean? So
Definitely.
Right.
So it's a win. In my opinion, it's a win-win situation for him, because if he loses, well, fuck it. You know, he's a young lion trying to make some name for himself. Took the opportunity, but if he wins, it's gonna be like, God damn, this is the real deal.
Yeah, they're gonna push him out, you know, in shark-infested waters and see if he can swim. The problem is if he can't, and like you say, I mean, you got a built-in excuse, you do. But I've seen fights like that ruin fighters. You know, get in there and they're never the same after that. And I don't want to see that happen to him, but I'd rather see him get into the mix instead of avoiding it forever like Canelo did and just let it on for a very long time. But let's take a look at the knockout, guys. Right behind the ear, and he does not move for a while. Looks around like, what the hell just happened? That was a great knockout, but
I mean, he was cold. He was out for a good, what did they say, like 5 seconds or whatever?
It was 5 to 7 at least. I mean, he didn't know where he was. Even when he picked his head up off the mat, he just kind of looked around like, where the hell am I? But regardless, I mean, like I said, I don't want to beat the guy to death, but it is what it is. This weekend, a couple of fights in Vegas. We will be attending, the heavy bag will be attending our Ron Buckner, one of our writers, there in Las Vegas, the PBC on NBC Sports. That will be Beba Shumanov versus BJ Flores, with a co-header of Jordan Schimmel versus Isaiah Thomas. The main event, although a lot of people are going to say it doesn't draw that big of a star crowd, I think it's going to be a fairly entertaining fight. Beba Shumanov is pretty slow, but he does have some powerful hands. And BJ Flores is a little quicker, a little bit more experienced, a little bit more technical. So the style clash could definitely, you know, be very entertaining. Me, myself, I'm still trying to find out who I would pick. Right now, I would lean towards the more technicality than the power. I think BJ Flores has enough to outbox him, and that's what I see, just a unanimous decision for BJ Flores. But, Robin, I'm going to come to you next. Who do you got in this one? How do you see it going?
You know, the issue with this fight is Shumanov we've only seen really in one fight, and that was a dismal fight against an older, smarter Bernard Hopkins. BJ Flores, we really haven't seen a lot unless you watch NBC and see him commentating. So, you know, honestly, as far as fan-friendly goes, neither one of these two have a fan base, in my opinion. So that's what makes this fight really hard to pick. Another issue is, you know, like you touched on, the style clash. Shumanov is a slow starter, but he does have power. But we've only seen that in one fight, being that he only had one main fight here in the States, besides the beating he took against Bernard Hopkins. BJ Flores coming up could have been. You know, and I use this word now just like I use the word on different levels. BJ Flores, to me, was a could have been. If he would have kept at it and kept active and not had those issues that he had, he could have been a great fighter. He might have been a guy that we look in the mix to take Adonis Stevenson, you know, type of fighter at light heavyweight. I know he teetered around cruiserweight and light heavyweight and stuff like that. I understand that. But it is what it is now. The cruiserweight division is kind of dying off. The light heavyweight division is where you want to be at.
Well, this fight this weekend, Rob, is for the WBA interim cruiserweight title.
Cruiserweight, right. But Shumanov, when has he been at cruiserweight?
Apparently this fight.
Right. That's my point. You know, me and BJ Flores have a thing about this cruiserweight, like heavyweight thing. Okay?
Yeah, man, he got pissed at you. Actually, if he wins, I was gonna ask him to come on, but now I'm rethinking that, Rob.
we've all seen that show where he's who is that cruiserweight, honestly, that he would want to take. So he gets a guy in Shuanev that really is a light heavyweight going up to cruiserweight to make this fight.
Okay.
So the weight is for my prediction, the weight is a factor. Shuanev, being an unknown fighter, might be able to confuse Flores for a couple of rounds, but the power is and the weight is gonna hold up. This fight is gonna be grueling. It might be long. It might go to distance, and the power is gonna be a factor. Flores is gonna be able to win the fight on power alone, based on the extra weight advantage.
Okay, so we got 2 for BJ Flores. Rudy, who you got in this one?
Well, I mean, I think you guys, pretty much took all the words from my mouth. I mean, this is, you could say this is probably BJ Flores' biggest fight of his career,
Right. Right. I'm sorry. I couldn't help but say that.
I mean, it's like you said. I mean, my biggest memories of BJ Flores is him commentating. He's not on TV as much. He's not a very active fighter, and for him to get this opportunity against Shomanov, I mean, it's his biggest fight of his career. I mean, this is his world title. You know what I mean? And if he doesn't shine right now, I mean, when will he? So I mean, I'm a roll with BJ Flores. I mean, let's see what he could do.
All right, we are unanimous for BJ Flores. A lot of people are looking past the Kovalev Mohammadi fight, just because basically a lot of people haven't heard of Mohammadi, but. I mean, I'm not even going to bother asking you guys who's going to win that, because we're all going to pick Kovalev, and we're all going to pick him by knockout. Just really what round, and there's no point tapping into all that. So let's talk a little bit of actual boxing news. So, and here it goes, Rob. Berto versus Mayweather is rumored to be done. Now it's not done yet. It's not done yet. So Rudy's already throwing punches over there.
Thank you for adding that disclaimer.
However, there are many sources that say that it is done, and I don't doubt it. TMZ broke Mayweather Pacquiao, whatever big fight, they have things that basically say, hey, we are legit. So I believe TMZ, and I believe it's done. I believe it's a done deal. And Rob, you being the Mayweather, the really only Mayweather fan on our team besides Ron, and Ron never comes on the show, I got to get your side of this. I mean, you told us before that he would not fight Berto, and that Berto was not a legitimate contender. So tell me what's going on, Rob, and what is your thoughts on it?
What's wrong with
Well, I believe TMZ, just like Floyd Mayweather, kidnapped and beat up a house worker at his house that they said he did. And I got rantless calls about from my father trying to justify, which never even came close to happening. No. TMZ has been wrong on several occasions for Floyd Mayweather. And Floyd Mayweather now is SportsCenter ESPN material. Whoever he fights next, when that fight is announced, will be all over the headlines of ESPN, which I haven't seen for the past week now since they said supposedly that this fight has been announced. Anything come on there about boxing, let alone Floyd Mayweather.
Because that was not even newsworthy.
Floyd,
no point.
You know what? Period. The bottom line with this fight right here is about what you spit, whether you agree or disagree. It's what you spent your last decade doing. It's what Rudy spent his last decade doing. It's what I've spent my last decade. All of our fans, all of the boxing fans across the world have spent at least for the last decade doing, which is watching Floyd Mayweather.
I got a picture of the promo, if you guys can see it. There's a promo on the screen right now. It's basically a landfill.
I've seen it, but it doesn't matter because it's just what I said. Whether you like this fight, this rumored to be fight or not, is what we've all spent at least the last decade doing, which was watching Floyd Mayweather. So whether you like the matchup or not, I don't care who he fights. I'm glad, and I know one thing that can't be rumored that we all know is going to happen is going to be on free TV. It's not going to be a pay-per-view event, and it's basically going to be an ode to Mayweather's career, Mayweather's legacy. And I'm sick of arguing this point to anybody. We've seen Michael Jordan in our era, Wayne Gretzky, countless steroid-using baseball players like Barry Bonds.
Okay, in that case, let me pause you, because if basketball was one-on-one, Michael Jordan would never call out Horace Grant.
Michael Jordan had to face, the Horace Grants and other countless garbage
because you got to face the ones
players
that win.
in his eras. It doesn't matter.
Okay. Wait.
In our era, we've seen some of the greatest athletes of our era.
Okay.
Floyd Mayweather is one of them.
The point is, okay, let's go on the pretense that the fight is actually made. TMZ is right. Can you say, hey, it's okay for Mayweather to fight this fight?
Yes, because he fought Manny Pacquiao. That y'all said he would never fight in his life. He fought Manny Pacquiao. That y'all said he would never fight in his life. You guys picked Robert Guerrero to beat him. Canelo
I never
Alvarez
picked Robert Guerrero. I never picked Robert Guerrero.
I'm sorry, you're right. You were rooting for Robert Guerrero to beat him, okay? Canelo Alvarez, who he ran circles around. Miguel Cotto, which is who I love. Oscar De La Hoya. The list goes on. All these fighters, everybody wanted to see beat him. That couldn't beat him.
Yeah, but now we have Berto. Berto is...
I knew you were going to come in here, Rudy. I wasn't finished, Rudy. I'm sorry. I wasn't finished. Listen to me. This man is the greatest fighter of our era. Let him go out on top. Who cares? There's nobody out there that we can predict would beat him at his weight class. Let the guy go out on top. Who cares who fights him?
All right, I agree with you. He is the top of the division. But why are you going to fight the borderline C fighter? Why can't you at least fight a B minus? I mean, Berto is 3 for 3 in his last 6 fights. If you lose to Soto Karass, you should not get a fight at Floyd Mayweather. That's just, it shouldn't happen. You should not lose, to Robert Guerrero and get a Mayweather shot. I mean, you got people.
But Danny Garcia gets to fight and knock out Rod Selka in his prime?
No. I declared that fight, and I badmouthed the shit out of Danny Garcia, and I will continue to do so until he proves so.
Manny Pacquiao gets to fight and beat up a Chris Algieri who fought.
Hold on, okay. And somebody actually posted a meme, so I'm going to call out you, and I'm going to call out this fan that's on our Facebook right now. You can see it on the screen, but it's a meme that says fights light heavyweight moving up in weight with a catchweight, and it shows Algieri versus Pacquiao, Rob, and then it says he's a legend, and then underneath Mayweather and Berto it says Mayweather is the WBC unified champ, fights the interim champ. This is garbage. All right, whoever made Berto the interim champ is retarded, and that should not have any bearing. Okay, but when Pacquiao fought Algieri was coming off a big win, and he was undefeated. He was not Berto, who's coming off a win over Daniel Lopez, who every time he comes up loses, apparently except to Victor Ortiz, who he dislocated and broke his jaw. Okay? So there's no bearing for Berto, who is 3 for 3 in his last 6 fights against subpar fighters even, and is known, Rob, he's known for taking steroids. And Mr. Fair Game, Mr. I want to be fair in the sport, be on equal playing fields, that's all he kept saying throughout the whole Pacquiao negotiation, is going to go for a fight that he just, 2-3 fights ago, called off for steroids. Come on, man. You're the biggest hypocrite in the sport. That's what it comes down to. You are the best.
Wait, Rudy. Wait, give me a second. I'm gonna let you talk in a minute, Rudy. Let me defend this one.
Yes, he is the best. He is, but he's also the biggest hypocrite and also the biggest cherry picker. He didn't have that fight with Pacquiao for a long time for a reason. He didn't fight Mosley in his prime for a reason, and you know that's just the way Mayweather has handled his career. People are, and me in general, I will even admit that he is one of the best fighters in the era. However, you could call me on this, people will not remember him as fondly as Manny Pacquiao, and mainly because of the styles, sure. Mayweather's style is pretty damn boring, but also just because of the person he is. You go out and spend, $75 million on a new, whip, and Manny Pacquiao goes out and buys, help homeless kids or something. Yeah, everybody is a Mayweather fan has to come back to Pacquiao. Well, Pacquiao did this. So the fuck what? You're Floyd Mayweather. You're undefeated. Who gives a shit what Pacquiao is doing? It shouldn't matter what Pacquiao's doing. You already said Pacquiao's not on your playing field. Pacquiao's got 5-6 losses. So technically, he can fight a Berto. You cannot. You should hold yourself to a higher standard, and you should be fighting somebody that's worthy of it. The Berto fight's a joke. Go ahead.
Rudy, I'm going to let you speak because I got to step away for a minute. I'm going to let you speak here, but to defend what you're saying, as far as Chris Algieri goes, at that time, Josito Lopez was a bigger name than what was on Chris Algieri's list.
You're talking bigger names. You're not talking bigger competition. A name means nothing to me.
Okay. Go ahead, Rudy. I'm going to step away for one moment. Go ahead, Rudy.
I mean, I don't have words for it. Whatever.
It's like, I don't know.
It really don't matter. I mean, it's like fucking Floyd Mayweather could have said, "Fuck it." I know it's still not, it's not official, it's not out there, but I mean, everything, the rumors, I mean, is pretty much dictating that this fight is going to happen. And the point I was trying to make is that fucking Floyd Mayweather could have been like, I'm fighting Travieso Arce on the 12th, and Floyd fans would justify that fucking fight. You know what I mean? They will find a way to say, this fight is good. Berto, and it's going to be one of his greatest fucking performances of all time, and it's going to solidify him as TBE. Which is fucking retarded in my opinion. I mean, his career, hate him alone, like you said, Lucas. You got to give the guy his credit. He one of the best of this era, right? Hate him or love him or whatever, but the way his career is going to be known, it's going to be known like one of those movies that you've been anticipating for such a long time. You fucking make a 2-hour line at the movie theater to go watch it and whatever, and then all of a sudden the movie ends and it's like, what the fuck? That's it? Really? That's what this is going to be. You know what I mean?
Right.
And a lot of people are saying that, oh, he's making it free. Fuck it, you better make this shit free because
nobody would pay for it anyway.
I would rather purchase BKB for $30 than watch fucking Floyd Mayweather against Berto.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Robbie, back to defend your man.
You're basing your facts on on emotions. You're basing your situation here, the whole situation, on emotions. Nobody's gonna remember Manny Pacquiao over Floyd because Floyd beat Manny Pacquiao. They automatically put Floyd above Manny when you talk about that. Manny Pacquiao comparison to Floyd right now, I haven't heard any since that fight.
That doesn't matter.
I still haven't heard any.
Hold on.
There's a lot of people that beat.
So that's not what his legacy is going to be about. His legacy has already been written. The people that will watch this last fight, whether it would be Andre Berto or even Kareem Mayfield, for God's sake, whoever followed Floyd in his career, which is millions of people, will watch him this final fight. And the fact that he's going to be on free will open up the floodgates for all these millions of people who watched Floyd these last 10 years at least to come out and watch this fight. So it doesn't matter with these emotional ties to him, with who he fights at this point. That's an understatement now. We just want to see Floyd retire. We want to see him retire gracefully, and we want him to leave the sport of boxing with, you know, a legacy and a future, so that way, you know, it can grow. The sport can grow. And with Floyd being out, especially out of that division, there's plenty of opportunity for that to grow.
We agree on one thing. I want to see Mayweather leave the sport. I think everybody right now
agree
wants to
on
see
that. Yeah, we obviously agree on that.
But why am I holding Mayweather to a higher standard than himself or his own fans? Berto is an insult to his career. It's an insult to his career. You're going to go out and claim you're the best and then end with Andre Berto?
At 40 years old, yes. Would you rather him go out like Muhammad Ali and have Parkinson's for the rest of his life?
People have been calling out Amir Khan. I don't even like Amir Khan, but Amir Khan fight is 1,000 times better than Andre Berto. And, I mean, at least that's a bigger exclamation point than Andre Berto, and it's still just a fairly easy fight for him. Hold yourself to a higher standard. I mean, it doesn't make sense. Like Rudy said, I mean, no matter who he fights, he has a right to fight whoever he wants. If he wants to fight, you know, bantamweight, he can, and get away with it. That's how many fans that he has, and that's the kind of pull he has in that sport, and in that state for that matter. But I could beat that dead horse all night. We got to move on, running out of time here. But guys, the Fury Klitschko talk and press conferences were not that long ago. I want to touch base on that a little bit. Now, Rudy, I know you can see what's on the screen here. One looks like a fighter and one looks like an average Joe who's like, I want to take a picture with Klitschko. Tyson Fury looks a damn fool, and he was talking all this trash, and honestly, I don't think he stands a chance. Picture says 1,000 words, and if you look at Klitschko, he's holding all them damn belts. And Fury don't even have one.
No. And Fury is wearing a pair of fucking jeans. Which is just like, he makes him look like he's a hooligan, soccer hooligan, just want to take a picture with the champ.
Yeah. He looks like a retired football coach or something, a dad. That's what he looks like, just a dad. He's not toned at all. I mean, he does not look like a boxer. If you look at that guy, I'm not thinking boxer at all. But I don't see how anybody's giving Fury a shot. I just want to say that I don't see him even come close to competing in this fight. I'm giving him maybe 2 or 3 rounds. You guys disagree?
Well, prepare to be surprised.
Oh, God. Rob, don't you're not actually thinking he might win this fight.
Yes, Tyson Fury can win this fight. He's big enough to do it.
Oh, man.
No argument there, right. He's big enough to do it, and that's all you ask against Klitschko, somebody who's big enough to compete and can land a solid shot on that chin. And can land a solid shot on that chin. Nobody, I can't believe it if y'all wouldn't predict, what's his name, Bird. Well, Corey, what's his first name? The one who beat, yeah, the one who beat Klitschko, the upset, who knocked him out with literally one punch, the Australian fighter.
I mean, and Lennox Lewis beat him too, but it doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter, Rob. He's big, sure. He's slow. Relatively not all that powerful, not nearly as much as Klitschko or who was the last guy fought, Pulev.
See, I disagree with that.
He can't hang up there with them guys.
I think he's definitely powerful enough to do it. I mean, just that weight around that he threw around to what's his name?
I tell you what, Rob. If you're really thinking about predicting him, we will make a bet on air.
Tyson Fury, I don't see how people can do it. Brian Jennings can compete, and all they did was waltz around the ring the whole time with Klitschko landing a clean jab, and that's why he won the fight. I know Tyson Fury can beat Klitschko. I've been saying this all along. Klitschko's been fighting straight bumps. Tyson Fury is not the most famed fighter for him right now. He's not the most challenged fighter. He definitely ain't the most seasoned, but damn it, I think he's big enough and he has enough willpower to do
I'm gonna go on record right now and say that Tyson Fury would get his ass kicked by Brian Jennings.
Okay.
That's just how it's gonna happen, man. But we're about out of time for this week. I want to thank Rudy Gutierrez, Robert Alexander for coming on the show as always. I'm your host, Lucas Piggers, and we'll see you again on ToughTalk Tuesday.
This ain't over.